He would be the one who's like, remember the guy who's like, it's like, oh, I know Glass. Like, yo, that's the one.
Yeah. No, trust me, I know Glass. That is the one.
Did you make an outline?
They fucking screwed that guy. Yeah, I emailed it to you guys. The first story is Many Saints of Newark. You didn't watch, right, Aaron?
I didn't have enough time.
Okay.
I'll just
enjoy the spoilers. Hopefully the review is good enough.
What about Venom?
Either of you see Venom?
I can probably stream it.
That's all you're gonna fucking do. Huh?
Well, I was gonna say,
is it worth the review?
It's pretty popular. That's the only reason.
Yeah. You really didn't like it? I saw your letterbox score. I saw some 10 out of 10s.
Where?
On Instagram. One person. Wait, I think it was trolling.
You saw 110 out of 10. Yeah. It was Elena, who had already watched it before you on the jailbroken. I mean,
come on, man.
Fire stick.
This is how I get in trouble now.
Totally legitimate.
I'm the guy that gets suckered into VPN, paying like $50 a month because I'm scared.
Well, no VPNs cost that much, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you better be able to hack the government, right?
Did we start?
On little country.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of something right now.
Tedlandia.
Petopia. Tedtopia.
I love that when he annexes Joe's backyard and he calls it Joe Hile. It's cut Pete.
Teddy.
Here we go. No,
I'm just saying, if you ever got control of like a little nation, I would like to see it. Just want to see what you would implement, what ideas you would.
I'd have that nation humming. That would be a well-oiled machine. That nation.
Humming.
Okay.
I say I want to see it. I would like to see it.
What would you enact? What's your big program? Your legacy program?
Free healthcare for everyone.
Oh,
look at Ted.
Wow.
Communist Ted?
Comrade Ted. I like it.
Welcome aboard.
Everyone making the same amount of money.
Oh, you're going full
communist, yes.
Oh my
wow.
But I'm going to be I'm
not
going to
even
be
painting
good,
it as like democratic socialism or anything.
I'm going to be good though, you know.
The good communist.
Yeah, I won't be like
that's a movie right there.
Tyranny.
Yeah, who plays Ted in The Good Communist?
John
Michael Gandolfini.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Oh God.
Should we just start it there? I don't know how you ended up becoming such a communist, but that's pretty funny.
Hanging around you too much.
Yeah, I guess so.
Free healthcare and only yellow lights.
You want everybody on edge.
And yield signs, yeah. No traffic.
It might cause more traffic.
Build trains.
Look, I don't think it's perfect right now, the traffic system, but I think there's a rhyme or reason for the red and greens.
I saw a video on TikTok and it explained how traffic starts, and it drove me insane knowing that I sit in traffic because of it. It takes like 3 people to fuck up, like to brake. And like hold the brake too long, and then that's when it all starts.
It took me a while
everyone's braking
to understand traffic. For the longest time, I was just like, people in front, go faster.
Yeah, I love the curb where they build that device where you could see what's in front of you.
I like that.
Just really pisses you off. I mean, I guess you can navigate.
Like a little submarine thingy?
Yeah. You know, left there.
Oh, like that? I like it more just to see what's going on. Like, why is everyone stopping? Like rubberneck before you get to the rubberneck, you know?
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's just you're speeding up the process of rubbernecking.
Is it mean if you see an accident that's holding you up? I think I've said this before, though, but I think it still holds true. It's like I kind of hope something serious is going on.
Well, yeah, it's like there better be someone dead.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be late to work.
You're going to hold me up, like, not dead, but like, you know, maybe a couple leg fractures. I don't want just like, a little whiplash.
I've hit the horn a couple times.
At the
passing
people.
Traffic. Like passing the accident, I've hit the horn a couple times.
like a fuck
like
you
asshole,
horn?
like you fucked everyone's day up. Thanks.
Like, are you okay? Yeah. Okay. You're a fucking asshole.
Look next time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast. I am Bo Oliver, joined here today with Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy, and we are back to talk about the world of Hollywood, movies, TV, video games, all that stuff. We have movie reviews, we have box office reports, and we have possible sequels to some popular shows. And listen to this podcast. Sorry, I forgot where to go from there. On iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the places for podcasts. Of course, on YouTube at the Nerd Soup Podcast. Follow us on social media at Nerd Soup, at Bo Soup, at Nerd Soup Monkey, at Teddy Nerd Soup. Not on Instagram or Facebook because they've been down all morning. You guys see this?
No.
Old Zuckerberg's losing a lot of money. Big shame,
poor Zuckerberg.
Right?
Don't use Facebook. Instagram depends.
I'm big on Facebook for the birthdays and the memories.
If I don't remember your birthday, you're not important, so don't ask me what your birthdays are because I'll fucking prick both of them.
So you know your moms and that's it, and your brothers and your dads, that's it?
Yeah, I know who I need to know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I know my mom and my dad and my brothers.
And I'm the sociopath.
They're important.
I know who I need to know. But, the other, I think group
You know
chat's
Benjamin
perfect.
Franklin's birthday?
July 4th, probably.
January 17th.
Did you read a book?
Is that significant for you?
It's my mom's birthday, too.
All right.
So,
I knew something was there.
and Michelle Obama. Big
Good-
day.
Big day, yeah. Your mom kind of gets
Three very
overshadowed.
important Americans.
I got Jay-Z on mine.
Yeah, I always remember yours because of Jay-Z. December 4th.
Yeah, December 4th. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I
Great
remember.
song, too.
So what are we leading off with? Zach Wilson?
You'd like that, wouldn't you? No, we're leading off with Many Saints of Newark. I'm sure they were happy.
Yeah. Someone said, actually last week, it's we need to watch you, do a live stream of you watching a Jet game. And I don't think that would be a good idea.
Of you? Watching
Yeah.
the Jet game? Oh,
'Cause
you
it's
should
me-
do it. Why not?
Because when they suck, I'm just sitting there, just
Texting.
fucking miserable. I don't say a word. I just sit in my own misery. And when they're good, I was going fucking nuts yesterday by myself. So when they lose bad, if they would have lost that game last night, I would have.
Why? You
freaked the
shouldn't have
fuck
won
out.
that game.
What do you mean?
You shouldn't have won the game.
Should have won the game. We beat them.
But you shouldn't have won. It should have at least been a tie. A 35-yard field
It
goal.
was in the 40s.
Yeah, it's closer to 30.
Well, he missed, so whatever. We won.
So my
Titans had-
boy Danny Dimes throwing for 400 yards.
He did go off yesterday.
He's got a nice deep ball.
Who was a big Jet fan?
The Saints were not getting that ball back.
The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice, dude.
You
When
just knew they weren't getting it.
Peppers was really hype at the coin flip.
When he sees Eric Mangini at the restaurant. Oh, that's
Oh, he does? Yeah, that's funny. Oh,
They'll
dude,
say
I
hi.
totally forgot about that. Yeah, there's that one plot line where he wants to bet on the Jets, right? Because he's got a tip, and Carmelo doesn't let him.
Yeah.
And then the Jets win big, and it would have been millions. Let me do my fucking job. What a life. Well, Many Saints of Newark, Ted. The prequel Sopranos movie focusing on Dickie Moltisanti, Christopher Moltisanti's father, and opening up with the narration going past the graves of these unknown characters and having them recite their story, and then we get to Christopher,
Yep.
and you hear about the end of the Sopranos, and then it goes back to 1967, young Tony, obviously Dickie, like I mentioned, Christopher's father, and it explores that era of the New Jersey Mafia. What did you think, Ted?
So, like you said, that opening, it really set the tone for the movie. It got you back into the Sopranos era. All the nostalgic feelings. You hear Christopher's voice. You feel like you're back watching Sopranos again. It did do a good job of putting you back in that time period. But this movie, it was good, but it had a lot of uphill battles to do. The acting was phenomenal, but I just think that the 2-hour time, the 2-hour timestamp it had was not long enough for what this movie had to do. There was just too much to happen between all the characters. There's too many characters and
A lot of plot lines.
a lot of plot lines. Yeah, they left with Harold. I think if you're not going to do a sequel, you shouldn't have put Harold's plot line in there at all. You should have expanded on Paulie and Silvio and more on Tony.
Well, it's where all the characters ended up, I was satisfied with.
Right.
But I just wanted more time with them because, like you mentioned, there were so many new characters. There were so many plot lines, and I think all the new characters were good. It felt like we were putting on an old coat, right? We were
Yeah,
right
exactly,
back in this
man.
universe. Even though they are new characters, they feel familiar. They feel like this would be their sort of golden age of New Jersey mafia families. They always talk about Johnny and Junior ran North Jersey. So all that stuff was great. And like you mentioned, the plot lines too were very interesting, but then they all kind of have to wrap up rather quickly because it is a
Exactly.
2-hour movie.
You
rather
rush through too much stuff that I feel like I'm not the biggest. I love Sopranos, but I'm not a diehard Soprano. I'm not a hardcore Sopranos fan where I know everything about the show. But
That's interesting.
I just know that.
Wonder how your family feels about that.
I just know that they would. You didn't expand enough on each character. And I didn't know that it was only on Dickie. I thought I was going into a Tony Soprano origin story. I didn't know much about this movie before it came out, before I watched it.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of painting the parallels between Dickie and Tony, not only their journeys, but their personalities. When they describe a young Tony as a natural leader, charismatic, playful, a lot of the qualities that Dickie Moltisanti also has.
Yeah.
So you see why he was drawn to him and why Tony felt the responsibility to take on Christopher under his wing. But like I mentioned, you just don't get enough of Dickie, played by Alessandro Nivola, who I thought did such a great job.
Yeah.
Like I said, such a charismatic presence who he fit right in with the mafia. But you just wanted more of that because it is so important for Tony's development, I think, in the series to take that next step of whether I'm going to be a civilian or a mobster. like I said, the relationship was so important. But I just wanted more of it, you know? And like for the other characters as well, I would love a Junior series starring Corey Stoll. I think that would be great.
I wanted so much more from Junior, because obviously Junior and Tony and Christopher were the main parts of Sopranos. Like, they were probably the biggest part of the cast, and we didn't get enough of Junior, man. Junior has such an influence in the Sopranos that there just wasn't enough in this movie.
Yeah, the actor who played him was perfect casting.
Exactly.
And I think John Bernthal was also perfect as his father.
Everyone was. It was a really good cast. Even Vera, I say her name Vera
Farmiga.
Even Vera Farmiga, she played Olivia amazingly.
Yes.
You literally saw Olivia Soprano. From the show.
From her mannerisms, even the way she spoke. There were times where she would deliver lines, and I'm like, that sounds like that old woman.
She was the fucking worst.
Isn't there times in the
annoying in this
Sopranos?
too.
There was times in the Sopranos where it was like, are you really like that? Or is this just like going on with age? But she was like that when she was like younger.
Right. She's not as bad, but you could see why they had such issues.
Why Tony and her always butted heads. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That it's hard for them to embrace the mother-son relationship, even though Tony, as a young man, he was still trying to break down those barriers. She was great. I think she was definitely the standout. Like you said, that it felt like you were watching Livia from The Sopranos as a younger woman.
One criticism I have. It's not so much of a criticism. It's with Paulie's character, or no, not Paulie. Silvio's character.
Think it was too goofy, too much of a caricature.
It kind of looked like it was like they were trying to make fun, or he was trying to make fun of him. You know what I mean? It was just like it was just too much. Where he did it good, but I think if he just would have toned it down a little bit, it would have been like. Would have been a lot better.
I feel like that happens a lot, though, when there's a character trying to play an established character.
He's
maybe
so
in the past,
too.
It's like you try too hard to act that way that it just comes off as like
that's exactly how
you're not making the character own. You're acting like the previous actor playing this character.
He definitely went for it. It worked for me. I thought it was funny when he's instantly recognizable.
Yeah,
you know right
hair,
away
bro.
that's Sil. Or even the dude who played Pussy. I mean, obviously there's not that distinct personality in the speech pattern.
It's kind of like Donald Glover when he was playing Lando. He was doing it's just that chain reaction where he was trying to base it off of the Lando from Empire, where it's just like, no, we kind of want to see you make it your own a little. But
I gotta say, I would have liked a little more mob mentality in this movie. I feel like there wasn't that much like real mob scenes besides the scene when they got Harold's cousin. I think I needed more of that.
Yeah, dude.
You know, when that was
right. That was a brutal ass scene. It was also funny with Sil when his hairpiece came off.
He's complaining about his jacket that he just got.
Yeah, Paulie.
I just got this Paulie. Yeah.
Well, obviously I didn't see the movie if you don't realize that by now, because I haven't said anything, except for like connecting it to Star Wars, which is an easy connection, natural. But did they incorporate the theme at all, or the opening theme? That's something I want to know.
I didn't hear it.
In the end.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end, when he does the pinky swear.
Ah, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And were any good O's?
Oh, yeah, there were some fantastic O's. One of my favorite was when Dickie was scolding Tony, and he's like, I heard you were caught smoking. Oh! Just randomly throws it in. So unnecessary. That was good.
But it was nice seeing the meat market and everything. It was nice being back in that universe.
Right, all the settings. Obviously, it looked nicer because I imagine the budget for this 2-hour movie was a bigger budget than they ever got for the series. And like I mentioned, it's the golden age of the Mafia, but you also had the backdrop of all the civil rights riots that were happening in New Jersey at that time. Right.
Well, that's what I think. 70s or 80s?
It's late 60s, early 70s.
Like it was 73?
It starts in 67, and then it jumps to like the mid-70s.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So Harold's character, I definitely could have used more of him, and I think that would have been a fun story to explore throughout a TV series. But I like how, and we're getting into spoilers here, so skip to the next topic if you don't want to be spoiled. I like how he just...
How do I skip?
Sorry.
No, you can't.
I like how he got away with it. That he just managed to screw over the Mafia at a time when there was so much tension between these communities, and not only that, just the black community and law enforcement.
He had no business getting away with it. What he did.
He wiggled out of it.
No
it's like a good, why isn't he in The Sopranos? It's like, well, he screwed over The Sopranos, and now he's living his normal life.
But don't you agree
it's a
that
happy story for him, and with Dickie, like I mentioned, it's very much like Tony in a condensed version, where he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to hold his world together, and you could see that it's a lot of the world that it's inspiring his bad behavior, and then it ends tragically for him because of something so trivial.
Yeah.
An innocent laugh at Junior's expense.
I can't believe that.
And that's why you don't get much
you just
of
knew
Junior.
it was going to happen, too. Like, the way he was looking at him. He was just laughing at you, guy, and as you fell.
That's the mob mentality.
He literally
that maybe was missing.
Junior literally thought that he pushed him. Or, like wished it on him that he fell.
And Junior was always like that in the show.
Yeah.
He was always
resentful.
Yes, resentful, noticed any slight, always thinking that people were out to get him. And I guess he felt bad because he was the one who lent a hand to Dickie after the death of his father. Says, "You're my brother now." I thought Ray Liotta was awesome in this, right?
Yeah, he was. He was a man of very little words, but every time he did speak, every scene with him and Dickie was powerful.
Yes.
He was very good.
Especially when he's talking
you
to...
just know that he's wise. You know, he's gritty. He's been in jail for like 25 years?
Yeah.
For killing a made man?
Yeah.
He's learned a lot.
Right, and he's different from his brother, where his brother was giving Harold those dirty looks and obviously beating his wife. But his twin in jail was a fan of jazz and was also, you know, obviously he says he reads all day, so he was giving him advice in the form of Buddhism.
Right.
Talking about that it's the wanting that causes suffering, and that's ultimately what happens with Dickie Moltisanti, right? He wants all these different things, and eventually it ends in his demise. But not getting that much of Junior, but having him be the reason why Dickie was killed is perfect for me. That's a perfect way to end this story. Even though like I said, I keep saying I wanted more, but for that to be the ending, something so trivial, is perfect because that just fits Junior Soprano's character.
I just think if you're not going to do a sequel, I think you ditch the Harold plotline and you get more into Tony and Dickie, because of how much Tony looks up to Dickie. Tony literally lives his life around Dickie. We barely got any interaction with them. We pretty much just see. I feel like we got more between him and his dad, and his dad's never around, than Dickie and Tony.
Yeah, there were a few key scenes, but definitely, yeah, I think that maybe there was a way that you could have explored that further, even in a movie.
They ended it perfectly for a sequel. To go right into Tony becoming the main man.
What did you think of Michael Gandolfini playing the young Tony?
I think he did a great job.
Yeah, me too.
But
did they show them rob the card game?
No.
That's what like they ended it perfectly where you can get into Tony coming to the top.
Was Jackie in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
even had young Christopher in there too, and
Christopher as a baby, Artie.
Should do a young Christopher type young Sheldon show.
Well, that was Christopher, wasn't it? When he was talking on the phone trying to call Dickie, and Carmela was there. And he ends up fighting Christopher. Wasn't that Christopher? You know when Tony's calling Dickie for a beer in the payphone?
No, that's not Christopher.
That wasn't
Christopher's
Christopher?
a baby.
I thought no, he was a baby when Tony was a kid. So wasn't that?
Yeah, but that's still the same Tony when he meets him as a baby. Christopher's born in the movie when Tony's
right. I think
over.
Tony was a little kid when Christopher was born, not when he was a teenager.
I forget who that was, but I think I think one of the characters was supposed to be Steve Buscemi's character. I'm not sure. One of the young ones that was running around with Tony.
You want to talk about season 2? In The Sopranos, I never realized how much older Silvio and Paulie are than Tony.
Right, yeah, that's why here
they're
they
like
are
30 years older than him.
They're like adults, whereas Tony is still a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, even though they're young guys in the mob, but
like
they're
to
still...
see where Tony went from, like it feels like those two didn't move. In like the mob, you know, in mob sense.
Well, I think they're soldiers in this movie. Like in this movie, they're soldiers, and by the time Tony's...
They're made men.
Yeah, they're capos.
Well, they show that in the show a little bit with Paulie. I think there's that one opening when he's like just getting ready in his apartment, and they show that like look at his like bleak life. Like, even though he's been in this business for so long, like he's not really...
It's worth nothing.
He's not really thriving too much.
You know,
then you see Tony in his fucking house, just like the difference and contrast there.
You know, that's what Sopranos does so well. It's like this life, it's like life is like meaningless. You go through so much shit just to barely survive life. Not barely survive life, but like, it's like you eke your way through life with how much stress you put yourself through and how much shit you go through with family.
Yeah, like even in The Departed, they make note of that. Like when they talk about
you lose your life essentially.
It's like you don't pay well. Like it's basically a death sentence to working for you. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I think that there's definitely an avenue to bring some of these actors back to explore young Tony Soprano.
Yeah, more
of his transition from, like I said, being a civilian to being a part of the mafia. The iconic scene where he robs the card game, and that's where really everybody started to respect him. But he was good, you know. It felt like they didn't give him much to do, and I don't think he didn't need to deliver the greatest performance ever, but he was good in the scenes he had. Obviously, he looks like James Gandolfini. I like the ice cream scene.
Yeah.
You know, you could see where... Because that was the whole tragic story of Tony Soprano, the flashback when he's in the coma and he sees a normal life, you know, that it's the life of being a mobster that made him like that, you know? And this was, like I said, this was an important moment for him taking those steps.
It's just did that in Suicide Squad.
Say it again?
Remember they did that in Suicide Squad when Harley had that vision of a normal life with Joker?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
It's just tough to say if he could have, like, his performance was good for what they gave him, like you said. It's tough to say if he could have handled this movie himself. That's why it was probably a good idea to make it more on Dickie.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I think that's where the movie kind of suffers. It's not a fully realized whole, but the stuff that's going on is entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel like it's not part of the Sopranos universe.
The writing was good.
And I think that's why it works for me. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Somebody made a really good point that I think they said that they like watching likable people do horrible things, not watching horrible people do horrible things. And I think that's kind of an element that was lost in this movie.
What about horrible people doing likable things?
That could also work.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's, like I said on Letterboxd, fans of The Sopranos, I think will enjoy it. There's something to get out of it.
I'm seeing a lot more, like I'm seeing some reactions of hardcore Sopranos fans, and I feel like the consensus is that they're not too happy with the movie.
At this point, I don't care.
It could be more of a case that, like, obviously the negative is going to shine more than the positive, I feel like.
No, I think
especially for a sequel,
there's definitely a lot of avenues for people to be whiny and complaining about this because it's not The Sopranos.
You needed to make this a TV show.
And it's trying to be The Sopranos in a movie.
You can't do that in 2 hours, man. Just too much going on in Sopranos to make it a movie.
Yeah, the different narratives,
2 hours,
the different
bro.
stories.
From what I've heard, though, like, I think the better avenue, like, it's hard to go back, especially with a prequel. I mean, like what Vince Gilligan did with Breaking Bad, obviously taking up after the story, and that was more of a complete add-on with characters we know. This seemed like it was just, you know, you had some, that's Paulie, that's Syl,
Yeah,
but then it's
exactly.
like, but we're taking on something completely different here. It's definitely difficult to do. So I'm definitely like, I didn't get a chance to see it this weekend. I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'll enjoy it for the most part. But
I went into that movie.
Task.
I went into that movie wanting it.
But nothing that can happen in that movie, I don't assume, unless you guys tell me otherwise, would take away from The Sopranos.
No, it wouldn't. And I'm happy that they didn't do anything crazy. I just wanted it to be watchable. That's really all I wanted from this movie, and it was.
I watched it twice,
it was very
man.
good.
Like, obviously, it's not one of my favorite movies of the year, but I thought it was
Don't have
good.
to be.
As a not a hardcore Sopranos fan, I did watch it twice during the pandemic, but I had fun with it. It was fun being back. It made me want to rewatch The Sopranos, so we'll see if I do that.
I honestly would.
All right, let's move on to our next story here. We're talking U.S. weekend box office. I mean,
Venom.
Venom.
Talking my language.
Look at this. Venom, 90 million domestic opening. It's the biggest of the pandemic so far.
Back?
Biggest opening of the year, and it looks like it's a companion story here. No Time to Die is ready to shatter that a bit. It's ready to break through 100 million. But so far for this weekend, like I mentioned, Venom Let There Be Carnage, 90 million. Coming in at number 2, The Addams Family 2 made 18 million.
What a drop off, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's not bad for an animated movie.
No, not at all, but from 90 to 18.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings continues to go strong. Made 6 million for a domestic
Get those
total
numbers
of 206 and an international total of 386.
Wait, is that your movie?
Yeah, you have Eternals.
All right.
Coming in at number 4
You
was
don't
the
have
Many
Addams Family?
Saints of
I'm gonna
Newark.
Squid Game him. He's not gonna get this reference, but like if Eternals beats Shang-Chi, he's like, wait, which one did you have again? I'm like, at Eternals, Ted.
Switch
You
the
don't
marbles
remember?
on him.
Yeah.
Ted's like our Ali. Coming in at number 4, the Many Saints of Newark at 5 million for a domestic
No, he's
total
the
of
old
5
man in
million.
this scenario.
Okay. Yeah, I could see Ted playing that role as well. And number 5, Dear Evan Hansen, 2.4 million for a domestic total of 11 million. Like I mentioned, Venom Let There Be Carnage, that is the big story. Kind of shattered expectations. Sony was tracking it at about 50 million, to be generous, and it comes in at 90 million. Solid reviews. It looks like people are ready to get back in theaters and enjoy some Marvel blockbusters. A legendary post-credit scene. Obviously, you two plebs haven't seen it, so don't appreciate fine cinema.
I bet you Sony knew what it was going to make, but they said, yeah, I think it's going to be like 20 million.
Got a lot on my
shatters. And then people are going to go see it now because it shattered expectations from what Sony thinks it was going to make. I should work for Sony.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a good move.
from what you've told me, I don't think it can get much worse.
Also, how does that benefit them? Keeping So it's just a bigger story?
Yeah, I'm saying like, oh, Sony projected.
Well, it's a big story either way.
Sony projected 20 million. It shatters that with 100. So now people can go see it now.
Pushing conspiracies, huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna get us sued.
I think every time we talked about box office over the past few months, it's kind of it shows the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, like even like with Shang-Chi, like looking at the numbers now, when everyone's talking about the success it was, it's probably going to finish. You think it's going to reach $500 million?
Maybe. Yeah, it's definitely got a shot. I don't
So,
know if
but,
there's
like-
any major markets still opening, but it's closing in on 400.
Okay, so like that's like good. That's really good. But like compared to what it would have done maybe in a different climate, it's probably would have been underperforming if it was normal times and compared to
Yeah.
other Marvel movies. So like
We're not in normal times though. We haven't
I
been
know,
for like 2
I know
years.
that's what I'm saying. So it's hard. Like, but every time we've get like these news, like, oh, shatters expectations or is doing well, and then
This
look at
feels
the
normal,
numbers,
though.
It's
This feels
starting
like a
more and
normal
more
number.
to feel like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what it would be regardless. So
Right.
like, that's definitely a good sign. As far as the reactions go, it's been. I see some people who really, really like it, and
Yeah.
like people just think it's trash. So. I want to see it. I didn't like the first one. I'm hoping that maybe I can find some of the appeal that the people who do like it are finding.
No, I
But-
mean, I don't think you're gonna like this one anymore.
Okay.
I think this is if you like the first one, you have a better chance of liking this one.
All right.
so if I already
think I'll
hated
like
the
it then.
first one, a lot of the same reasons why I hated it is probably going to be
Yeah,
present in
I
this
don't
one.
think it's as funny. I mentioned on Letterboxd that it was the unhinged mediocrity of the first one that I enjoyed. It's not a good movie, but it was so wacky. There's no scene in the sequel like the lobster scene, which is a very controversial scene. You either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
But that's why I liked it, because the whole movie felt like that.
That was
Like-
a weird scene when you just
like
started
they were
fucking
just
the lobster.
freestyling. Yeah. This one feels like, no, this isn't a freestyle. This is a prepared verse. It just stinks.
Is that at least fun when Carnage and Venom fight?
No.
How was Woody? Don't say bad. Please.
No, it's not that he's bad, but he's a shitty villain.
Oh,
He's
man.
a Phase 1 Marvel villain.
That's
where he's
not
just a
good.
bad guy. He's a serial killer, but it's like, oh, wait, my mom was mean to me. Okay. He doesn't get the chance
I
to
get
be
that,
like the
though.
Joker. If you're just going to be a one-note serial killer, you need to be terrifying and scary. You need to
Yeah.
have that opportunity. It's way too short, which may make some other people happy that you get in and you get out.
Yeah.
But it ended, and I couldn't believe that the movie came to an end. So we just accomplished nothing. Like Venom's character at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, he's pretty much in the same spot.
Wow.
Like there's a bit of development, and that's really it. And it's
How much more
forced.
can
It's
you-
forced because Venom needs to be like sane at a certain point. You know, like Tom Hardy and Venom need to get on the same page
Yeah,
where they
right.
can fight and interact with other heroes in the Sonyverse, whatever the fuck it's going to be. But the money is, I'm happy for it. You know?
Shows good signs. I gotta see it.
Well, we can just transition into No Time to Die. I think that's a bigger story. It's already made 120 million worldwide.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's poised to make another 100 million at the US box office.
Dune made 100. Is that on the list?
No.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
We'll talk about Dune as we get closer to it. We just got our tickets today. But this is surprising for James Bond, I think. Obviously, it's a franchise that has crossed the $1 billion mark in the past, but for it to debut over 100 in the North American box office, that's huge. And it hasn't opened in China, so it's already made 220 without the Chinese market.
Wow. Is that a James Bond number opening? Like,
It's on pace with Skyfall and Spectre.
wow.
Skyfall made about a bit over $1 billion.
I knew
like
it was-
$1,083,000,000.
Wow.
And
I
then,
knew it was like good, like a big blockbuster, but I didn't know it was like a
No, Bond makes
250,
money,
200.
dude.
Wow.
Bond makes money.
Yeah.
Spectre, the reviews were mixed, and it still made close to 900 million worldwide.
Shit.
It has the whole. It's the last Craig movie too, so it has some of that going on with it.
Craig.
Craig, is it the first?
I'm assuming it's a
think
good
what
movie
came
too.
out. I hope
getting good
so,
reviews.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like the first franchise non-Marvel that's been out that we can really test it against, like non-superhero?
Yeah, I guess
think it
so.
might be. Yeah. So.
Fast 9 obviously did well.
Oh yeah, of course, Fast 9. Who could forget that?
I watched that over the weekend.
Yeah, I saw it in your letterbox.
God damn.
Yeah, it does seem like things are kind of easing back into some normalcy. Like you said, Bond is an immensely popular character. I think that's just somebody like more than any other action franchise. everybody knows who James Bond is. Even if you're not going to see the movie, you just know who James Bond is. So, yeah, I think people like are ready to get back, and they see big Bond movie or Venom, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. That'll be fun. Remember when we used to go to the movies? Let's do that again for like 2 months. Then once it loses the appeal of not being able to go for the past year and a half, we just will never go back again, thus continuing the decline of cinema and theaters.
Well, Ted hasn't been back in...
I'm striking. No, I'm not. I just haven't gone back.
You're striking the theaters?
I'm going back for Dune, man. First one.
Now, you said you were going to watch the Craig Bond movies. Did you watch them?
No, I didn't crack into those yet.
Well, we're running out of time.
I know.
Well, you're not even coming with us, so who cares?
Well, have you seen Casino Royale yet?
I'm gonna go restart.
Yeah, you.
No, both of you guys missed out on Bond.
Yeah, but I know, but you
I'm
shouldn't
not
on
a
me
big
for not
Bond
doing
guy.
it.
Parenting.
Regardless, well, I'm still gonna go see
2006.
it.
You guys are both 13.
Huh?
Your parents could have took you to the movies.
Wasn't old enough for that.
That wasn't big in your house, Bond.
Bond, no.
Bond
You
family.
didn't grow up in a Bond.
N64 was big in my house.
No, I'm gonna go back and get all of them done this week. Nice little lead up.
Well,
It'll
at
be
least
fun.
see Casino Royale, honestly. Or you can watch Casino
How much did
Royale.
I text you for the
Skyfall.
list? Was it like 2 months ago?
Yeah, no, it was like 2 months ago.
I gotta start that
Hey, man,
list.
get on your Fire Stick.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I can get it on my Fire Stick. No Time to Die. I'm about to watch it.
Well, don't say that.
No,
Well, watch it Thursday, so
I
we all
tried
watch
it.
it at the first.
I tried it and everything was backwards. It was like flipped. I was like,
It was Tenet?
So this is how it is, huh?
Right. That's funny.
No, the scream is backwards.
Well, he's had an incredible run, man. 14 years.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Connery did 6 Bond movies. So he's coming in at number 2. But I think for how many years it's spanned, I think he's been Bond for the longest time.
Were the Sean Connery ones good, though? Like these? I've never seen them, but I'm not an idiot. I know
Craig's
these are
got
good.
some stinkers.
I know they're good.
Quantum of Solace isn't great. It's
Really?
kind of like in the middle. But he's also got the best. I think Casino Royale is the best. I think Skyfall's top 5. Connery is... all the Bonds have like a few good and a few bad. That's kind of how the Bond franchise goes. It's not all hitters.
Are these consecutive stories, though? Or is each movie a different thing?
No, each
The same
actor...
character, the same actors.
Like Sean Connery and George Lazenby and then Roger Moore's Bond, there is some crossover. There are other characters that appear in movies and they acknowledge past events.
Oh, no, I meant like is Daniel Craig's... Like,
Yeah, no, they're connected.
They're all connected?
Yeah, the
All right.
Craig movies are connected.
All
yeah.
right.
They made more of an effort than previous installations of making it a wider universe.
Mm-hmm.
And people have complained about that. Like, oh, they're making Bond like Marvel. Why are they world building?
What do you want them to do?
That's just how cinema is, you know? It's
What
a
would they want?
reflection of the cinema that's coming out.
Each movie be a different villain or a different story?
Well, they've done, because Bond has always had the same elements, like Spectre's the evil organization that controls everything, and they're always revealed. And I think they've done the best job with Craig, fully realizing that universe, all the potential of it. So it should be an emotional ending. You know, people are wondering, is he going to die? Are they going to give him the happy ending? I don't know, if you had to take bets, what would you say? Happy ending or death?
I feel like
Let him ride off into the
James
sunset.
Bond would want to die instead of being alive, knowing he can come back to this. You know what I mean? Like, kill
You
me.
guys want to double or nothing, you bet? Or just get a new bet here?
Did you see it yet?
No.
I'll double or nothing.
This guy's going to stream it tonight and they'll be like, yo, you want to take that bet?
We don't even know the results of the first bet, so we can't double or nothing.
Yeah.
Right now, take it or leave it.
Yeah, so
What do you think?
I
Being the
think
big Bond guy, you think he
he,
dies or rides off?
well, I saw one spoiler that makes me believe something, but my gut's telling me they
It's
got to
something
kill him
else.
because that man's been getting away with a lot of shit these last 14 years. He's been wiggling his way out of a lot of harmful situations.
Is this when he passes the torch in this one, right? Essentially?
Well, we don't really know. Those were the reports initially that Lashana Lynch was going to play a new agent that
Yeah.
would continue the franchise, that she would lead the franchise. I
Who
don't know.
knows?
I don't know how they're going to do it. Looks like we have to wait.
Yeah.
Wait and see.
Wait and see.
She's 008 or something like that.
The nerve.
Right.
Just tell us all of it before the movie comes out.
I saw a tweet, dude. It was a quotation from what Daniel Craig said. Daniel Craig said that a woman can't play James Bond. That was the quote. But the full article was him saying that they need to make her own Bond. Not like she can't play 007 because 007 is James Bond.
Right.
Like, yeah, make her own 00.
Yeah,
But
the
quote
idea
was,
that just
there
don't...
can't be a woman James Bond. It was
yeah, it makes
it's
it
fucked
look...
up. You
Right.
know?
But I think most people knew what he was going for when he
Right.
said that.
He's not an idiot.
I think that headline also appeals to people who, I mean, you don't necessarily want to be on the same side with them. Because that's where I get like, okay, I understand that maybe there shouldn't be a woman James Bond, create new characters. But even when studios do create new characters for women or people of color, people still complain.
Yeah, absolutely.
You make a new character like Tenet, like, oh, I guess it has to be a black guy starring in it, right? You know how many comments you saw on that when John David Washington was cast? John Boyega as a stormtrooper. Thousands of fans. A stormtrooper can't be black.
They're in a costume.
So until that side stops making comments like that, then I'm fine with any character being anything at this point, just to piss those people off. So like, would I make James Bond a woman? Do I want to see James Bond be a woman? No, but if it happens, I'm happy that certain people are going to cry about it.
Hopefully she does it good, and you'll critique her regardless.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. If they make it, it's going to be made. Yeah. Right? That's why I almost want them to do it. You can't stop it if a studio wants to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think it makes sense. But the whole create new characters, well, you get backlash when you do that too. No matter what happens.
Fun world we live in, huh?
Well, speaking about fun, Ben Affleck had fun on filming The Flash. Direct quote. Said he had a great time coming on for... Who's directing this movie? Is it Muschietti?
It's somebody.
I think it's Andy Muschietti. He said that this was a more pleasant experience, a lovely experience, in his own words, seeing that the prior filming experience as Batman was difficult. Obviously alluding to Justice League.
It's probably didn't need him to do anything because he's probably barely in it.
Yeah, no, he's probably there for
a week. Gave him a fat check, and they're like,
"Yeah, right, one scene.
Keaton, you're in. We did what we had to do to get this to make somewhat sense. So here you go.
Flash
just go home, have fun with J-Lo. Thanks for coming."
Flash probably knocked on Ben Affleck's door, and he answered it, and that was it. Sent them home.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those final scenes in the movie. No, but I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see if there's some Batman on Batman action, you know? Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, looking at each other face to face.
Yeah.
Get a stepping stool for Keaton.
He's a short king. Yeah, I mean, this movie, I'm still surprised it's happening, but I guess it actually going through with it. I think I've said a million times that I would bet anything that it won't be made, and looks like I'm wrong. So it's definitely interesting. I mean, I think we both are fans of, or I don't know where Teddy stands, of Ben Affleck's Batman. So even just to see him, even if he's not like doesn't have a big role, or just to see him as Bruce one more time, like it was fun seeing the extra scenes in the Snyder Cut that we didn't see before. So I'm excited to see. I just want to know what, like, at this point, I just want to, like, it just seems like it's gonna be just crazy. So embrace the craziness. I want to see what happens. I want to see Keaton. I want to see Ben. I want to see, I don't know, Grant Gustin, right? He plays the Flash in the TV show.
Yes, he does.
Just to do anything you want. Because none of it matters. Because the DCEU is just doesn't exist in my eyes.
I think there's a chance we see Christian Bale in this.
No way.
Wait, is this Flashpoint?
0% chance.
I think there's a 2% chance.
Is this when he goes back in time?
There's even a 1% chance. I think it's an absolute certainty.
That's what we're on the same page here, Ben Affleck. What'd you say, Danny?
Is this when he goes back in time? And like, this is like the big thing?
Nobody knows how they're going to adapt the story. The initial story is he goes back and saves his mom's life, and everything goes to shit.
Well, this was going to be the movie to like reset the DCEU, right?
Nobody knows at this point. It's just all rumors.
Yeah.
Because it is Flashpoint, because you're dealing with the multiverse.
Right. You can do anything you want.
I mean, if we had to take bets, does this movie end with a reboot of the DCEU? I would say like there's a 30% chance of this at that point. But that, like you said, what is the DCEU? Yeah. Does it even make sense to reboot? Do you need a reboot at this point? Because I feel like they're just doing anything, right? Yeah.
Just doing Aquaman 2.
Right, they have all these movies that take place in the same universe, but they don't. They break continuity and then they reestablish it. It doesn't matter.
There's gonna be a new Superman. Then there's Wonder Woman, who's in the 80s. I don't know if she's still. I don't know what she's up to now.
And what are the conversations being had between the director of The Flash and the directors of other DC projects? There's no plan here. That may bode well for a movie like this. Just make it as crazy as possible without worrying about the repercussions. It doesn't matter.
I want it to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's why you do make this movie, because there are no repercussions. I don't love Ezra Miller's Flash. And they'll still fuck it up somehow.
But you like Ezra Miller off the screen.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Big, yeah. Really supportive of
So you want to give him another shot here.
That's a joke. You can't be too careful.
Why are you speaking like a 1940s detective?
He's got a cigarette in his ear.
Go home, Toots. These streets ain't safe anymore.
Now with Ezra Miller
Top hat,
patrolling
trench
them.
coat.
Yeah, not with Ezra Miller out here.
You might come and fucking
Choke
clothesline you.
slam you.
But like,
You know what? Maybe hopefully this ends with Ezra Miller's death as the Flash, and they get somebody in there who's a better actor.
I don't think he's a bad actor.
He's a bit one note.
Okay.
It seems like he's got one pitch.
It's actually,
And it's also an irritating pitch. It can work in doses, but I've never seen Ezra Miller where I'm like, wow, I'm blown away by his presence in this movie. I can't say I've ever felt that for Ezra Miller.
well, we'll see.
I'm sorry to hit you with all this because I know how much he means to you, but sorry.
What's
You know,
your
it's just
excitement
a
meter
big
from
Flash
Write him
1
a
to 10?
letter. You're a big Flash guy. My excitement meter for this?
From 1 to 10.
3.
How about you?
I'm pretty high. Michael Keaton back as Batman. That's like anything Batman. I'm kind of like on board just naturally. So
Like a 5?
But I've seen nothing from it besides promotional material.
Right.
The logos crisscrossed. Give me footage, and then maybe my excitement meter will bump up. But as of now, this is something that feels so far away.
Have you heard anything on Robert Pattinson's Batman yet? Is anything coming out about that?
yeah, I actually talked to him the other day. He said,
Bobby,
"How'd you get this number?"
Damn. Is that coming
did
out
you ask
soon?
him about Twilight prequel movie? Possibly. They wrote the book. There's source material there. Is it coming? I think it's 2022, right?
It's supposed to
they
be
are.
out
Still got some time.
last Tuesday.
Yeah,
Last
it's supposed
Thursday.
to be out October 1st, 2021.
Really?
Yep, that was the initial release date. But that was a production that got delayed a few times,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Early in the production because Pattinson got
He
COVID.
got COVID. Yeah, that's right.
And then I think it shut down again after somebody else got COVID. But, that's another thing where... like Robert Pattinson's Batman movie, that's 10 out of 10 excitement.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited about the filmmaker. There hasn't been many changes besides Ben Affleck leaving, but this seems like something that it's a little pocket universe. It's a little Batman universe, and people prefer Batman operating that way. All right, let's move on to the next story. We have Netflix apparently is having some early talks on how they're going to bring back Squid Game, their most popular show probably ever.
That's crazy.
It's been number one in 90 countries over the past couple of weeks, taking the world by storm. So far, the creator of the show has no plans to return for a season 2. He mentions that making the first season almost killed him. It was a very tough experience for him. He wrote and directed each episode. He said if he came back for season 2, he would get a room of directors, room of writers. But it looks like something that may be a few years away.
That's
I don't
fine.
think they realized what they had on their hands. And I kind of love when that happens with the show. Just comes out and it's so good that you just can't ignore it. And that's kind of what happened. It's captured the minds of people everywhere with Netflix.
Social media effect, man. It's fucking all over social media.
It really is.
And it blew up like that.
And I think it's the way that it ended without spoiling it, it leaves it open for season 2. That you can kind of recapture that magic.
Yeah, I think so.
Redesign it.
But like I said, no rush.
Yeah.
I think so. With so many things, it's just like, oh, we like this thing, give it to us again. And like, no, that takes time. Like you said, it took them a while to even get this first season done. And if you want it to be anything resembling what you loved in the first season, you got to give it time. You got to find a story. You can't just manufacture this thing just for the sake of appeasing your fans. I mean, that's just...
And it still might not even be that good.
Yeah. So wait for it, give it some time, find a story that's worth telling, and if there is a story worth telling, then yeah, craft it and, go from there. But if you're Netflix, I guess it makes smart business sense. If it's insanely popular to want to capitalize it as much as you can, but like at the end of the day, quality is what matters most. So don't rush it. Give it time, let it marinate. And that could be attributed to like the binge model too, because we already finished it. Most people probably finish it in 2 to 3 days. And it's like, well, now I want more. Well, there isn't more. And there's not going to be for a while.
Yeah, it feels like the creator's name is Wang Dong-hyuk. It seems like Netflix is leaving it in his hands.
That's
that
good.
there
If
is
you
no
wanna do
rush, that they're not pressuring him. The head of Netflix Global Content, whatever the fuck it is, mentioned that he's got some other projects in the works, so they need to have some conversations with him about how they're going to proceed. But I'm happy that those conversations are happening. It's not something where, because the creator mentioned that he didn't have any plans for season 2, didn't necessarily say that he didn't want to come back. So even if it is a few years away, and maybe that's the best way to tackle this this subject matter again, is with the writer's room. You can get different perspectives, open up this world, because there's a lot of potential here. I was often wondering while watching it, is this a one-shot deal because of the premise? But no, I think the way it ended, that it can get bigger, crazier, and more fun, and that we can have Squid Game for years down the road.
Can this be a show that can benefit? I mean, obviously any show can benefit from the weekly release, but
yes, I think it would.
Yeah,
I think it really would. The way that this show played out, obviously Netflix loves dumping everything on us, but I think with the way that watching the games, watching the different characters, people dying, getting picked off, all the games within the games, there would have been theories, there would have been discussions. I think it would have been just as popular.
You think next year, or not next year, but next time
imagine
they make a season,
like who's controlling the Squid Game or who's the front man, like
you would have got just so much more talk surrounding your show. But Netflix doesn't want to budge. They haven't done it with any show.
I was just going to ask you that. Like, I don't remember any show from Netflix that got dropped weekly. Stranger Things needs to do that.
I think it would benefit those shows. It really would. That's part of their like trademark at this point, right?
Just binge.
Yeah, the binge model. Hey.
They're big enough, I guess. The show's big enough to do.
I think it's definitely one of the more popular shows to come out this year, so I guess it's working. Maybe it could work a little better. Well, speaking of a show that does come out weekly and apparently is working well, Succession Season 3. It's getting some positive reviews. They're saying that it could possibly be the best season so far, so it's welcome news. Obviously, we're fans of Succession on this channel. We've reviewed Season 1 and Season 2, and we will be back to review Season 3 weekly. So that's really what this topic is. It's more of a promotion for Succession Season 3 and for our reviews. That cliffhanger, I mean, it's one of the greatest cliffhangers in television history. So how that's going to resolve, you know that it's going to be messy and violent and very fun to watch.
Definitely.
So October 17th, Succession comes back. Yeah,
a couple weeks.
Going to be a nice couple of months here. We got some interesting projects coming out. Talk about in a review.
Definitely. It is going to be. I was actually looking because I saw like the trailer on YouTube like recently, like my recommended, and like just looking at the views it got compared to other things, it's still like it hasn't hit yet. And I hope this is the season where it kind of takes off, and I hope it does.
Yeah, I mean, 3 good seasons, that's usually when a show can take that next step in terms of its popularity. So we'll see if they're able to do that. I think it's going to be a show that I'm going to have so much fun watching week to week, though.
Yeah,
it's the first time I'm going to have the chance to watch it week to week, so be a new experience. All right, let's move on to fan questions. How about that?
Let's do it.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay! People, you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
This question here from Calvin and Hobbs. Have y'all watched the Wheel of Time trailer yet? What do you think? This is a question that he asked last week. It got 30 likes and we didn't ask it. So
oh, shit.
I didn't watch the Wheel of Time trailer. Did you guys?
No.
When's that come out?
I'm not sure. November 19th.
Oh, cool.
2021.
No. I mean, we've a lot of people have told us about this, so I'm definitely anticipating, but I haven't watched the trailer yet. But
yeah, it's also, I know it's a book series. I know there's like 12 books. I know the author died and he got someone to finish them. Can't even remember the author's name. But yeah, apparently Rosamund Pike is in this trailer because she's on the thumbnail. So maybe I'll watch it after this podcast, and it may be something that we review. Obviously, it's a fantasy epic, legendary book series. So this question here from Tej. When is Teddy's brother getting on the pod?
Whenever you guys want him to.
The Expanse. New season of The Expanse, man.
He probably watches it.
No, I know he does.
Oh.
He recommended it too.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Remember you asked him about it?
Ah, yeah. He said The Expanse is like the best space travel or time travel show. What was it? He depicted something.
Space show.
Best. Yeah.
This question here from Stupid Millennial. Recast the new Mario movie.
I'm just, that's tough. In the vein of like how they casted it this time, because I think we all said like Mario should just be casted by the guy who did Mario.
Right. Yeah, like it would be funny if Will Smith was Luigi, or Mario was Kevin Hart, and Ice Cube was Luigi.
I'm trying to picture a Kevin Hart Mario.
No, that'd be terrible.
Who's a very Italian actor?
But you need to like not you're thinking of American Italian.
Yeah, I am.
So that's not the same Italian as Mario. Although I would like an American Italian represent like
Yeah, all Italians in the cast.
yeah. But it would be funny if they were all American Italian and they spoke like New York Italians.
Right. The actors for The Sopranos.
Yeah.
However you want to fill it out,
exactly.
that's how we're going to do it.
100%.
There you go, stupid millennial. You can have fun with that. This question here from Nelly at Hall. What's your favorite art style in an animated movie, show, or anime?
It's pretty recent, but like Into the Spider-Verse, like the way they animated that to make it look like it was ripped out of a comic was fucking awesome. And I think that was like, I think you could put that up, especially for me, like one of the best animated movies of all time at this point. Like it's that good. And that unique animation style really, I think, propped up the film. I think it would have been good regardless, but like that does, it just gives it its own like personality. And I think that's a movie that's just dripping with personality. So like, that is such a key component and what makes that film, I think, just like a masterpiece at this point.
Yeah, I think recently Wolfwalkers that came out on Apple TV, that was a really fun and new animation style. For animes, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's very divisive, but I like it. It works for me. Someone called it on Letterboxd, one of my friends, the forefront of fashion and animation, and the fits in that show really just drip forever. Into the Spider-Verse was also new and different. Best Spider-Man movie, without a doubt. Like the best animated movie ever, in my opinion, is Akira. Super influential, so I guess you can consider that a style. Kind of that neon animation focusing a lot on light. But yeah, I mean, that's the advantage of anime over American animation. Especially, like, okay, of course, Family Guy and The Simpsons, they're not animes, but they're so poorly animated at times, and I think that's like a huge gap. And even some of the action shows that we make for kids at times, like, they're just not as well animated as some of these anime series. Like, Demon Slayer is the best television animation show, I think, in terms of the animation ever. It looks like a fucking movie. And you know how you usually see the difference between a show and a movie?
Right.
Demon Slayer, it's hard to tell, dude. Watching that movie on the big screen, it was like, okay, it looks incredible, but the show looks really good too. So I think there's a gap there that needs to be made up, especially when it comes to like adult animation. They're drawn horribly.
The animation.
It's not that it's drawn horribly, but it's so lazy.
Yeah.
It's like the animation's not that important.
The animation in the Simpsons movie was ridiculously different than the TV show.
You know, yeah. Everybody's moving more often. Yeah. Everyone's walking more because you just have, that's the budget.
The background characters are doing a lot more.
Well, I always found that, like, even with Family Guy, I think we've talked about this, and you never agreed with me, but like, as the seasons progressed and the animation got better, like, I just felt like it took away a lot of the character from the show.
Yes. Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
I thought you always used to disagree with me on that.
I didn't
hate that they made it more HD, but they stopped moving the characters. I never disagreed with that. I mean, everyone is just so stationary in Family Guy.
SpongeBob got it the worst.
But even if you watch like the first few seasons of Family Guy, there is more movement and fluidity to the animation. It's still poorly drawn. That's what's funny about Family Guy. Is that when the actual like animation was more lively and vibrant, it was just poorly drawn. And then it was drawn better and became less animated. So it's a weird trajectory that show went on.
I just thought of the best Mario.
Okay.
John Turturro.
I don't hate that. Can't say
I
that
love
I
that
hate
guy,
that.
dude. He's so fucking funny.
This question here from Charles Riley would be the last question. If you could choose a show to get a movie made from it, be it a prequel or sequel set in the same universe, what show would you choose? Personally, I've always wanted Community's 6 seasons and a movies joke to become a reality. Wasn't there talk for a long time about them doing a Community movie?
I think so, but I don't know if that was just because of the joke they constantly made or if there was actually going to be in development. Movie.
That crack.
The question was,
I mean,
if I could turn one show into a movie, right?
No, if you like kind of
like Many Saints of Newark type situation.
Deal. And obviously, a Game of Thrones movie would be something I would be super excited for, depending on what they want to tackle. So, like, things like that, but I'm trying to think of something less obvious.
I think it would be cool to see a movie set in the Invincible universe. Whatever story it is, if they want to tie it into the canon, just get us a bigger budget, maybe that, like a Demon Slayer.
The anime route, or like doing a movie, or something like that.
It'd be sick with, like, if Invincible got what South Park did. Like, the 4 seasons, like, 10 movies. Imagine, like, a bunch of movies with Invincible. and like just know for sure that Invincible's getting like 6-7 seasons.
Well, we're definitely getting the live action Invincible.
Yeah,
I know it hasn't came out yet, but like the Lord of the Rings, that seems pretty interesting. So it'd be cool if they did like some movies about that universe too.
Harry Potter, make TV shows.
Yeah, Game of Thrones has the most potential with it, but Harry Potter, yeah, I guess you're going the opposite
reverse
route.
it,
Yeah.
but
I'm surprised that hasn't been made yet by HBO. That seems like a no-brainer, dude. Like, you get a writer's room together and you say, like, build us a story here. Not you, JK. Game of Thrones, I mean, an Oberyn movie would be cool. Young Oberyn.
I'm trying to think like what story you can fit into that.
that'd be sick.
I don't even think you could do Robert's Rebellion in a movie. It's too much.
Yeah.
You can, but also I think it would have to be pretty long, and you'd have to rely a lot on people knowing a significant amount of information before going into it.
They should have ended the show with movies. I'll always stand by that. And that was the plan.
Instead of doing season 8, make movies.
No, season 8 and then a movie.
Oh,
And that movie, you always used to say people wouldn't go out to see it. Yo, that movie would have made bundles.
You think so?
Fat stacks. Yo, the way that show had, that's why I can't get over with season 8, is that the show had the world on watch, bro.
yeah.
It was like unlike anything we've ever, I think, in our lives.
Especially season 8 had everyone.
Yo, everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Like, I think it was bigger than Star Wars. Like, I think the hype for season 8 of Game of Thrones is bigger than Star Wars and Endgame.
You had Nash watching it and didn't even see the series.
Yo,
You just wanted to be a part of something.
But it's like, I guarantee there was definitely more people like Nash watching the show just because
We could
the social media.
Twin Peaks movie would work.
I think so, yeah. I think a lot of people would like to see that, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no word. I mean, that's typical of Lynch on that show he's been developing for Netflix. I can't wait for that. There's also rumors that it's connected to Twin Peaks. Wisteria.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
That could be the one.
Yeah, could be.
All right, guys, that is a Nerd 2 podcast for today. We will be back at the end of the week to review Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage. I hope you guys enjoy it. Ted, I hope you don't get arrested.
I think I will.
Okay. And
No,
yeah, like I
enjoy,
mentioned-
not arrested. I'm getting arrested.
Ready for Comic-Con? You got your walking shoes?
Oh, right, yeah. Comic-Con this weekend coming up. I'm excited, man.
New York City?
Yeah.
I'm getting in.
They've
I'll get arrested doing that.
They've introduced, they've got some cool panels. I'm going to one for The Expanse on Saturday, and Friday's the My Hero panel.
Yeah.
So they're going to have some of the dub cast there, and they're also going to give us a sneak peek at the movie.
Can't wait to go now, because like now I'm a big anime guy, and like I've seen like so many animes, and like
I bet you're gonna love Comic-Con now because
Yeah, you're going to be Leo memeing every My Hero piece of, or Attack on Titan.
no, it's the only two.
Yeah, I know. That's every time you see those, you're going to be like, oh, that's Attack, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Levi statue.
Oh, Deku, yeah, I like Deku.
You got
I get
any
mystery
Bakugo
box.
stuff? You got Bakugo stuff?
do a mystery box for My Hero.
Ooh, I might get a mystery.
Fucking mystery boxes. Yo, fuck those boxes. I moved on.
You always got screwed. You think I screwed a bunch of times with your mystery boxes.
You know what? I'm gonna look for like a Miles Morales comic. I'm gonna
Okay.
be looking for like an
That's pretty
investment. You know,
Yeah.
or characters that I think are gonna get big.
You gonna dress up?
No.
About that previous question about True Detective making a movie.
Oh hell yeah! I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
But it's also like I'd just rather see another season of True Detective
Yeah.
at this point. The way
It's
that
the
is,
same thing, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
dude, it's so funny in Fast 9. This man Vin Diesel was undertaking international spy missions in jeans and a t-shirt, walking around with a shotgun while going against a Latin American military.
Where'd that come from? You're just thinking of it?
I'm just thinking of it because what made me think of that?
You looked it up before for the box office, I think.
I'm trying to why I had to vent about that. Oh, I think it was just because we were talking
So
about
go to
movies.
Comic-Con,
Yeah, I don't know why, but dude, it's like they did a meta joke in Fast 9 where Tyrese has this theory that they can't be killed. He's like, bro, I'm telling you, we're invincible. Like, look at all the shit we go through. There's not a scratch on me. And it's truly how
is true.
they've embraced the stupidity to a point where it has become not as entertaining as previous installments, but it still makes me laugh that this man's out there in jeans and a t-shirt. His brother's like the guy. Like, he's James Bond, and Vin Diesel's punking him, dude. Like, you've never trained for this. Like, when he gets the details of the mission, Diesel has a line. He's like, we're not on call anymore. Like, why were you ever on call? All right, guys. See you later in the week.
love it.
That's why I can't watch.
Damn, we were making some good points in that video. Hey guys, Aaron the Nerd Suit Monkey here. Before we end this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. What can I say about you guys that I haven't already said about myself? You are the most important part of the channel and the main reason we keep going strong. Like Bo says, you keep the lights on in the fridge so the fridge is full. Or something like that. So, from everyone here at Nerd Soup, I'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're interested in joining the ranks of our patron supporters, head over to patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out the rewards we offer to our patrons. We recently dropped some new stickers for you guys to check out, or you could choose a tier that will allow you to select a movie, show, or video game for us to review. We've got a full slate of fan-suggested reviews coming your way, and we're really excited about the chance to review some of those movies and shows. We've also got t-shirts, mugs, behind-the-scenes videos showing how we bring our videos to life. And once again, thank you to all our Patreon pledgers who have been supporting us throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be able to convert all your pledges into cryptocurrency, so thank you from my future self for making us rich.